Hey guys, and welcome to Friday. Today was a good day because it was the start of a 3-day weekend. Very lovely. I have Monday off. It's a 3-day weekend for me anyway. Giselle still has to work with tomorrow and on Monday, which kind of sucks. But I do get Monday off because it's going to be Labor Day here in the U.S. This was actually the weekend we were actually going to go to Maine to visit Giselle's great aunt who lives there, but that didn't end up working out for this weekend. We're probably going to do that. So that's something to, look forward to in the future. Probably going to do that in a few weeks, maybe at the end of the month, maybe the beginning of next month, something like that. We would like to go visit her very soon, and which also means we're going to stop by Stephen King's house. Get to see that, because why not? And this weekend for me is almost entirely going to be reading and working on vlogs. That's what I'm going to spend pretty much all of Monday doing. I'll update you a little bit in a little while about where that stands, where the vlog stuff stands, because I haven't talked about it in a few days. I've been very conscious of not talking about it because there hasn't been much going on with it, and because I got kind of tired of talking about it. But I will give you a little update on that, on what exactly I'm doing at the moment, why I'm not working on it right this second, why I've been working on it the last few days. I'll talk to you about that in a little bit. But I have something going on with that right now, and I am going to work pretty much all Monday on vlog stuff. I already decided that, and Giselle will get off a little bit early that day, a little bit earlier than normal because her work closes at 6 instead of closing at 9, so she only has to work until 6. And I'll get to take her to work that day. Anyway, the point is that 3-day weekend is really exciting. I'm really happy I have Monday off, and just this whole weekend to work on stuff. I'm going to try to officially finish. Now that I've gotten rid of the cardboard boxes that we had lying around, I didn't actually throw those away at work. They're still in my car, taking up pretty much the whole back. Now that we don't have the cardboard boxes anymore in here, at least I'm starting to put stuff away that we never put away. There's a ton of stuff all over the place that we never got the chance to put away, just because I didn't necessarily know where Giselle wanted to put certain things, and understandably, after walking to work for an hour and then working for like 9 hours almost every day, she just doesn't want to do that when she gets home. She wants to read, and it's totally understandable. That's a lot of what I've been doing recently. When I get home from work, I just work out and read because I'm not doing stuff on my computer right now. And I'm pretty much done with 7 Eves, and I'm going to be starting a couple more books very soon. So all that, plus reading, plus writing stuff, I'm going to use pretty much all of September. I've decided to finish plotting and planning out the book, figuring out my characters, and I'm also saying that because I want to use all of September to update the vlog, to get up the vlog completely on track. And so I'm going to be spending more time editing videos every single day. I'm going to probably edit like several a day until they're all just done and they're all caught up. And I mean, obviously that was my goal for last month, and we obviously don't know what's going to happen with my computer this month, but hopefully it's going to be steady, it's going to be stable, and I'll get to actually do the thing that I want to do and finish them all for the end of the month and be caught up, so I can just work on them daily again, have them coming out daily, and that way I can focus on writing every day starting in October. And I would wait until NaNoWriMo, but I also don't really care about waiting until NaNoWriMo. I would probably be like, oh, I'm participating in NaNoWriMo just because I am writing every day. I'm hopefully going to be writing every day before that anyway. But this month of September is, for me, going to be a lot of planning in my head. I'm having such a hard time. I haven't been listening to audiobooks very much, and it kind of stinks because every time I try, it doesn't necessarily stink, because every time I try to listen to an audiobook, I can't concentrate on it. I can't think about it because I'm too busy thinking about the book that I want to write and the story that I've come up with, this world that I've come up with, the characters that I've been thinking about, the plots I've been thinking about, all the things that I've been building up in my head for the past little while. And when I decided to start working on this, whenever I did that, like a couple weeks ago, something like that, I've been trying to turn my abstract ideas that I've been working on in my head for a while into real ideas that are coherent and go together, that have characters and a plot, and they all blend well and they all mix well. And there's a bunch of different plot lines that I can like go for in my head that I'm trying to connect and make work. And I spend a lot of time writing down ideas in that little notebook I showed a few days ago. And anyway, so throughout the month, what I'm going to do is actually make an outline for this thing. I want to start with figuring out what my end goals are. I think I know the general idea of what my end goals for each like plot line is, what the general end goals of a lot of the characters are. I'm going to write down those and then figure out the steps I need to take to get there, and then build the plot and the outline around that, and then write things about my characters from my character perspective, try to find my characters, try to figure out who they are as people by writing as them. And so in that way I will actually be writing, and some of that might end up being in the book itself. But my main goal is to just figure all this out as much as I can so I don't go in blind at all with this. And I'm obviously going to want to discover things as I go along while I'm writing the actual book, but it's important to me to not be lost at all so I don't run into a problem where I'm like, okay, I have no idea where I'm going now. When I'm actually writing the book, I want to know where I'm going and what point I have to hit, what points I have to hit in the outline. And I think that's just the best way for me to write. It's always been the way that I feel the most comfortable when writing, is when I know where I'm going with something. When I don't know where I'm going with something, which is what was happening with the book I was writing before, when I don't know where I'm going with something, I just struggle, and I don't want to sit down and write it because my mind has to work in overdrive. It takes me forever, and I write like a couple sentences at a time, and then have to put the pen down or whatever and walk away because I don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, that's a lot of stuff. That was a long ramble. I'm going to be working on that some this weekend, thinking about a lot of stuff, and also probably tomorrow running some errands because Giselle will be at work, and we need groceries and stuff like that as well. So that little update that I mentioned on the recovering stuff, it's a little bit later now, by the way. There's a lovely newly finished book in between earlier and now, which is great. I read all 800 something pages this week. Very nice. Liked it a lot. But okay, so recovery stuff. It's my original thing was trying to recover the exported versions. This is all concerning the vlogs that I had already edited, by the way. I tried to get back those exported finished vlogs, but that wasn't working. And so then I had the thought, like, what if I searched this hard drive and try to recover the project files that I use in Adobe Premiere, the editing software that I use, and I was able to recover those, and those will have all of the links into them. As long as they're not corrupted, I can't test them right now. I don't have Premiere on my computer at the moment, but the project files in Adobe Premiere, they link to all of the videos that it uses in the edit, so it's just like a reference. The edit, it's a reference to all the edits that I've made, but that reference makes links to all of the files that you use in that edit. It makes links to them on the computer. So all I have to do is connect and link again all of the files to the files that I have listed inside the project manager, inside of Premiere, and it'll automatically make the project work again, which means that I'll be able to export it again. And as long as I watch through it and it's all completely fine, I put in all the videos, all the music that I used, the pictures or whatever, everything that I used inside of each video. As long as I relink everything, they'll all be back to where they were before, and I can export it again. So I'm going to try that Sunday. If my other recovery things, it's been running pretty much the entire week. It's been running a recovery on, once again, trying to get the files back from those days we lost, trying some new things, and it's still not working very well. It's transferring. It says it's recovering stuff, and maybe I'll get to actually have some video from this to use, but it can't even find a lot of the days in there. It can find some of the days and find some of the clips from some of the days. It did find most of one clip, and I was able to watch a lot of one clip like recovered, but a huge chunk of it was corrupted and not working, and it's recovering things at 2 megabytes per hour, and it's like gigabytes worth of footage. So 2 megabytes per hour, sometimes less, sometimes a little bit more, obviously isn't ideal. And I don't know if you know how many megabytes are in a gigabyte, but basically it would take a really long time if I'd even kept doing it. Like, it's probably going to cut off. It's probably going to run itself out. Like, it's just going to stop before it ever gets to the point where it's recovered everything. But we'll see what happens with that. But I think that's where I'm going to end for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this weekend ends up being a good one. Ends up being a good and fairly relaxing / productive, of like, a fair mix of relaxing and productive. Hopefully it's good, and I'll let you know how things go. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.